She screams injustice.
Yeah, all hell is breaking loose right now as Donald Trump's ICE is conducting raids in courtrooms and outside of courthouses.
Welcome back to the Dirty Police channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about what's going on right now with ICE and people looking for papers, people who are embroiled in green card battles, citizenship battles, anything that has to do with immigration. Once you haven't gotten your citizenship, then I guess you have to go through the process or still go through the process. Now, what is going on? The current administration changed something in the Constitution that now allows them to circumvent the now laws or the previous laws set to protect immigrants trying to get their papers. Now they are going into courthouses and they are seizing people and throwing them into ICE jails, regular jails, even El Salvador. And we have to say good news because the prisoner who was sent to El Salvador, the immigrant, he is now back in the US and he's going to face court charges to determine if he stays in America or if he's a criminal. But the good part of it is at least the system prevails. The justice system has prevailed. So that's a win for justice. And remember, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice. Everywhere. Now, I do believe that if you come to America, a land of opportunities where you can be broke today and rich tomorrow, if you make the right investment, if you do the right thing, work hard, have ambition, then you can make it. No matter how hard it is. You might just buy a lotto ticket tomorrow and just be a millionaire. You know, you might find a coin, that coin is from 17th century. You're rich. You might find a piece of ornament, an old ring of a Viking or an old slave master. You're rich. So there's so many things if you know where to look. But now some people come and try the quick route where they're involving drugs, crimes, everything. So those should be thrown out the country without a doubt. Come and farm gangs if you end up in El Salvador. You only got to look at the bathroom mirror in El Salvador, man. But they are holding on to people who have green cards. They are holding on to people who have court appointments. And I have another video to post after this that it's even worse. And the people have come out. The people are coming out in droves and protesting. And there were confrontations by the protesters and the cops. Tanks are going into Minneapolis, and you have to understand that that is just not a no thing when they say tanks rolling through. If you remember when that white kid unalived the other white dude, 17-year-old kid from Ohio, and the president called the governor of Minneapolis and tell him to send out the tanks, and he refused. So now you see tanks going through Minneapolis for any specific reason that requires tanks going through Minneapolis. That drives fear into people. But watch this video.
She screams injustice.
Yeah, all hell is breaking loose right now as Donald Trump's ICE is conducting raids in courtrooms and outside of courthouses. They are raiding construction sites with hard-working individuals. They are waiting in courtrooms for people to come out and then separating families. Real tragic scenes we saw in San Diego and in other major cities across the country. They are raiding restaurants in full tactical gear with stun guns and with flash grenades. It's real serious stuff taking place. It's being caught on camera. The lady in that first video that I showed went to court with her husband and with her kids, and then her husband was arrested on the spot to be deported on an expedited basis. And this is what the Trump regime is going into extra cruelty mode. Let me show you what went down in San Diego in the past 24 to 48 hours, where about 30 ICE officers raided a very popular restaurant in the South Park region in San Diego. They detained everybody who worked there, and then the community in San Diego came out and they were like, what the hell are you doing? And then the ICE members, the Gestapo, attacked the citizens of San Diego. Let me show you what went down. Let's play the clip. the San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria issued the following statement on these immigration raids, violent immigration raids by ICE in South Park, San Diego. Like many San Diegans, I was deeply upset by Friday night's immigration enforcement operations at the Bueno Forchetta and Oteca Bueno Forchetta. These are popular Italian restaurants there in South Park. Federal actions like these are billed as a public safety measure, but it had the complete opposite effect. What we saw undermines trust and creates fear in our community. I raised these concerns and my strong objections directly with Homeland Security investigation leaderships this morning. I will continue to advocate for the respect, dignity, rights, and security of everybody in our city. Let me show you another angle of what went down as community members came out. You'll see the unmarked cars of the ICE. They started grabbing community members. Watch this scene. Let's play this clip. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we're seeing headlines like this across the country. ICE immigration raids at construction sites in Tallahassee and across Florida. Children zip-tied at San Antonio immigration court in new crackdown. It's unclear why these children were zip-tied during their detention or why they were detained at all. Democratic Congressmember Jerry Nadler's office in Manhattan was raided by ICE, and his staffers were briefly detained by ICE members who claimed they were detaining them for their own safety. They claimed they were looking for protesters in the office, and you'll see what happens when these ICE members, again, Gestapo style, raid and invade a Democratic Congress member's office. Let's play this clip.
No, she did not. That is not what happened.
That is not what happened.
Okay?
What? Hold on a second.
Give me your contact information right
No,
now.
I'm going to give you some to
Hey.
That's what I'm going to
Speak to
do.
you after.
We got you. No.
I got you. You're okay.
I don't have to.
You're okay. You're okay. You're going to be okay.
I'm a federal officer. We're here checking on something. We have the right to check. I'm giving you. I'm not resisting. Stop resisting. You harboring rioters in the office. So there was not a problem. Let's walk inside. Let's walk through.
For what?
Let me see what's in here. Let's go. Come on. Hold it there. Hold it.
Now, I'll show you what went down at the South Florida Courthouse, and this is taking place across the country. Credit to NBC6 South Florida here for this report about migrants being detained at their immigration check-in. And you'll hear from these immigration lawyers. What's happening is the Trump regime will dismiss the cases of people who are lawfully here and they're pursuing the immigration process. So once they're dismissed, they no longer have any status at all, and then they're immediately arrested in the courthouse. Here, let's play this clip.
Well, many of the immigrants detained today have what's called the I-220A form, which was given to them by border authorities when they crossed into the U.S.
NBC6 was there as person after person left Miami's immigration court in tears Thursday. Yanet Correa could not hold back her pain. She screams injustice after her husband was placed on an expedited deportation order after showing up to his immigration check-in in Miami. The detentions are not only creating panic and fear, but Correa's immigration attorney tells NBC6 it's also creating confusion.
When a person enters the U.S. at the border, they decide what law to process you under, and now here in court, they're deciding to process you under a different law.
Immigration court attorney Antonio Ramos tells us this is now the new normal.
What I have been seeing is out of the few people, most of them, they have crimes, previous crimes, and sometimes not even have applied in front of the judge with any application, just an open case. And we have seen just a couple of cases, they have no crime, but the issue was they never filed an application before the judge.
As the detention of immigrants with what's known as the I-220A form continues, Ramos explained what's been happening inside the court.
People get in front of the judge. The DHS offered dismissal of the case. And I have to make a parenthesis because dismissal of the case in the previous administration, people saw it as a good thing because they're not going to be arrested. So a lot of people accept the dismissal. When they accept the dismissal, they withdraw the application in front of the judge. The case is closed in front of the judge. They are literally in a legal limbo and they can be detained. And that's what's going on.
Julissa Hernandez panicked when she saw that her husband's check-in took longer than expected.
I saw that they were taking a man who was outside here with me, and I look and they just took him. I collapsed. I felt that I couldn't go on anymore.
Her husband was eventually released, but now she's worried about what will happen to her when she shows up for her own immigration check-in next week.
I want to show you this real tragic clip right here of family similarly showed up at court, and then his wife was taken from him, pulled away from him, and sent for deportation. You'll see what happens as the family is separated before your very eyes. Play this clip.
¿Quisieras decir algo?
Son unas mierdas, pinche gobierno, no van a chingar su madre. Vamos a ir al
Here's what went down, by the way, in San Diego. I talked about it in the video earlier. Here's how CBS 8 San Diego talks about it. Let's play it.
This was the chaotic scene of an operation by Homeland Security investigations as they swept through this restaurant at the corner of Beach and 30th Street. Heavily armed agents can be seen in full tactical gear as cars block the streets off. In this video, you can hear loud booms and sirens as community members surrounded their cars. Pedro Rios with American Friends Service Committee was there and watched as people were taken away in handcuffs.
The agents fired sound grenades, flashbang grenades at the crowd.
Claire Cody works at Buena Forcheta. She had just clocked in for her shift at about 4:30 Friday afternoon when she says several men in trucks went inside saying they had a search warrant. Claire says agents put employees in handcuffs to check their ID.
There was no stopping them. There was like 30 ICE. There was 30 of them. I mean, we were just all in shock. They just came at a time where it was so unexpected.
Before the restaurant opened up for dinner, staff put up this close sign. Claire says employees here are all like a big family and they're heartbroken.
They took people. They took some of our employees.
Immigrants, not hate. That's what makes America great.
Meanwhile, outside the restaurant, the community pushed back.
It was quite clear that there was just a complete rejection by the community of the federal agents of conducting this in their community and neighborhood.
And I did reach out to the Department of Homeland Security to find out more information about this operation, and I'm still waiting to hear back.
Meanwhile, you have ICE posting videos like this on their social media. Watch our special agents confiscate a knife from a violent Venezuelan alien resisting arrest. This arrest was part of an operation that resulted in 8 arrests, including 1 TDA member, with the help from federal partners in San Diego, May 29th. Okay, well, you previously have said other people at Tren de Aragua who are in Tren de Aragua. Is this individual who you're beating down on Tren de Aragua? And can we just give human beings in this country due process? And why is our government posting violent videos like this? Yeah, that was posted by the federal government. And then Donald Trump posts the following: "Let the deportations begin." And it's a meme of all of these airplanes, commercial airplanes, flying, and it says, "Let the deportation begin." Donald Trump's top aide, Stephen Miller, just gave an interview also where he talked about suspending habeas corpus as it relates to individuals who he said are not here lawfully. Play this clip.
The discussion about whether or not habeas would be limited for specific illegal aliens not people who have any right to be here, is solely in the context of what are the options the administration would have to look at if the courts don't obey and abide by the laws that Congress enacted. And again, the Constitution vests the executive with plenary authority over matters in the conduct of foreign policy. Immigration is a foreign policy decision. So these district courts are both violating the laws of the United States and the supreme law of the land, which is the U.S. Constitution.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
So there you have it, guys. You see for yourself. When a people are oppressed, you know what they do? When a cat is cornered, you know what they do? And the people in LA are not taking it, laying down. They're fed up, they're tired. Here we go. And as I said, if you're here illegally, and you're committing offenses to make people miserable or causing harm to people or selling drugs or whatever the reason, if it's not morally upstanding or you're morally bankrupt, then you don't need to be here, you know. But in life, everybody deserves a fair shake. Well, not everybody, but some people deserve a fair shake, and not everyone here is here to cause harm to anyone. They just want to better themselves. And until the color of a man's skin is no more significant than the color of his eyes, as Haile Selassie said it, and Bob Marley put it in a song, there will be war. And I'm not talking just here. I'm just talking globally. Because there's enough for everybody's need on earth, but not everybody's greed, you know? There's enough for everybody to pull together, work as one, because a fist will always be more powerful than 5 fingers separately, okay? So just be careful how you go down to that courthouse, man. Ask your lawyer for Zoom, because your lawyer will tell you it's safe. Most of those people got lawyers, and their lawyers is the one who tell them, look, come, it's safe, because once they get your money, you get deported, it's on to the next one. They got kids to feed. You're just a statistic, so you got to look out for you. I'm done. The next video, rough, so check that out.